Just before we wrapped up taping last year before the holidays, we introduced you to our new hobby greenhouse. Well, now we've got it finished up. We've got heat in it, new benches, and our plants are taking off. And we'll be bringing you some segments showing you a little bit about the new additions to the greenhouse. And then there's plenty more that we'll be sharing with you throughout the months to come. And also last fall, we introduced you to our composting demonstration. And we tried to get in as many composting kits on the market as possible that were representatives. And some of those came in a little bit late, and we finally got them all here. And of course, composting is still very interesting to many people and very timely, so we'll be starting our demonstrations again this year, collecting some good data on the differences and the pros and cons of a lot of the composters. So that's something that really is timely that will apply to a lot of us that you'll want to be sure and stick around and watch. Some other topics that we'll be spending a great deal of time on, one in particular is xeriscaping, and that's a word that's been around for several years that kind of confuses people. They think it has to do with landscaping to make our lawns and landscapes look like rock and cactus, but really it just stands for water conservation, and that's really the whole key to it. So we'll be spending a little bit of time on some of the concepts or principles of xeriscaping. Also, one of the favorites for our vegetable growers will be some heirloom varieties that we'll be growing here in our studio gardens, and those are varieties that were introduced many years ago, either in the United States or from other countries, and so that'll be a lot of fun. And then one that we think you'll be interested in too is showing you how to grow some agronomic crops such as peanuts, cotton, and soybeans in your own home garden, and there's a lot of fun with that. And last year we tried a segment with the youth at Jinx Elementary who were doing a little bit of the same thing, so we think there's a lot of interest, and again that will be very interesting. We'll also try growing some mushrooms here that will be safe to eat. Some of the ones are shiitake and some of the other kits that are showing up on the market, and there's a lot of interest there, so we'll be doing some segments on growing mushrooms in the home garden. And then we're all very interested in planting trees, and we want to spend a lot of time this year on urban tree care because a lot of times planting trees is really done to no avail. So there's a lot of new research coming out on urban tree care, and we'll spend a lot of time there. And then a lot of the interest comes from visiting other gardens, and we really are thankful that we can travel around a little bit more this year and visit and bring you some segments of other gardens across the state. And as usual, we'll try to keep bringing you some research updates from our university as well as others and through the different Department of Agriculture services. And then we had so much fun last year with our video contest that we're planning on bringing you our second annual video contest because we saw a lot of new gadgets and ideas from, again, our viewers and gardeners across the state. So as you can see, we've got a lot of new gardening projects that we'll be trying, in addition to, of course, those tried and true practices that always seem to be successful for us. Well, you know, it takes an awful lot of time and support to do some of the projects that we're attempting, and that's where our friends, the underwriters, come in. Joining us again this year are the Oklahoma State Nurserymen's Association Certified Nurseryman Program and our local John Deere dealer, Stillwater Equipment Company. And also coming on board this year is the Public Service Company of Oklahoma. And you know, we have a lot of goals and objectives that are very similar with our underwriters, and that is to make sure that our viewers are educated, that they're giving accurate information, that they have a lot of fun, and that it's safe gardening at the same time. And you know, we also want you to remember that Oklahoma Gardening is your show as well, and we encourage you to write into us with any suggestions or comments. One of the ones that I want to share with you that we received over the Christmas break is from a Miss Doris Comby from Chickasha, Oklahoma. And Miss Comby is 79 years old and watches Oklahoma Gardening faithfully, she says, and she's even tried some of our ideas like composting leaves. But she also suggests that we might do a segment or two on gardening for the physically limited, and we think that's a great idea, and we'll really try to put that into practice. And we want to thank Miss Comby for those ideas. And if you would like to write to us at Oklahoma Gardening, the address would be Oklahoma Gardening, 335 Ag Hall, Stillwater, Oklahoma 74078. And again, we'd appreciate any kind of correspondence that you want to send to.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. You can also find more recent videos on our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.